All right, folks, are you ready? Yeah. Hey, before we get going, let's do a quick show of hands. How many of you, this is your very first time here at Arizona? Yay, me too. We're going to have so much fun. I wonder what animals we're going to see. No, I've been here before. Guys, my name's Jennifer, and I'll be your tour guide this morning. Now, before we really get going, I do want to say a big old thank you so much for coming on out to Bearizona today. Bearizona is a privately run park, and what that means is your support helps us to feed our animals and to build more park. And if you guys look around, walk around, we're right now working on our Otter Mountain, still adding some things to that. Hopefully pretty soon our otters will be in that new exhibit. But that's up by the gift shop right now. We got a big old detour going around the gift shop to get to the Jaguars. Bear with us while we are, bear with us while we are doing a little bit more construction in that walkthrough. Now, folks, I want to let you know that we are only 8 years old. We celebrated our 8th anniversary on May 22nd. So in the grand scheme of things, we are still pretty young. But again, we are always adding and growing something new for you every season. Now here at Bearizona, we do so many awesome things. We have lots of rescue animals, and we do so many other things that are great for the environment. One of them being we recycle. And we recycle just about anything and everything we can get our hands on. So what we're going to do is we are going to look up, we're going to start our tour up to the left. I want you guys looking for that big brown wall. You guys see it? You can talk on this bus. Do you guys see it? Oh, good. I was worried there for a minute. That is actually tour buses with storage containers stacked on top. They then put chicken wire all around it and shape it to the shape they want. Then they spray it with shotcrete, the stuff that goes in swimming pools. And that is what every single rock formation here at Bearizona is made from. Junk, and lots of it. If you guys look straight out my window underneath that rock, that's an Airstream trailer under there. You can make it out. And then if you look over here to our future waterfall, the very bottom corner driving right up the side, that's a VW Bug popping a wheelie. Slug Bug. This is the only time you can hit someone on my bus. Slug Bug. That's it. No more. All right, first up is going to be our Rocky Mountain Goats, and we've got 2 in here. We've got DJ, or Don Juan, and we've got Gus Gus. Now it looks like we're going to have on either side of the road, okay? Don Juan is going to be over here on the left. If you guys peek around that little corner there, Gus Gus is going to be laying in the shade right there. You can kind of get a glimpse of him. But since Don Juan is up and moving, guys, over here on the left-hand side. Now, I call these animals Rocky Mountain Goats. We call these Rocky Mountain Goats, but believe it or not, they are more closely related to the antelope. These animals can jump 12 feet in one single leap. They are considered the most sure-footed animals in North America, and that is because of their hooves. They're spongy. They kind of form right to the rocks themselves as they walk along. Now, these animals live at about 13,000 feet. That's going to be above tree line. So let's play a game. Anybody want to guess on what one of their main predators might be? Anyone? Golden eagle will dive bomb them, knock them right off the rock ledges, and they'll tumble down, and that's how they get to him. Now, if you notice, Don Juan, he's shedding his winter coat. That is what would happen naturally in the wild. We let our animals go ahead and do everything naturally here. So we have several groups of animals that are going to look kind of shaggy, and that's because they're still shedding their coats. But he's smiling for you. What Don Juan is going to do pretty soon is when it gets hot enough, he'll walk up and down these rocks, and he'll just kind of scrape all of that hair off. All right, let's keep on moving. Next up is going to be our reindeer. Now, I do want to let you know that the golden eagle is one of the predators of the reindeer also. Now, in here we've got 5 reindeer. They are young. They're just about a year old. And if you look over here to the right, we've got one of them, and the rest should be close by. Guys, this is the first time for me going through the park, so I'm looking for the animals just like you are. But if you see, We've got some reindeer right here. Now the thing about, oh, they're all down here too. The thing about reindeer, they are the only species of deer that both the male and female have antlers, okay? The thing is, they will lose those antlers at different times. The males will lose those antlers first, and then the females will hold on to their antlers through the winter time and then lose them. The reason they hold them on into the winter is to protect the young during that winter season. Now, according to that, that would mean that all of Santa's reindeers were ladies. Now, the thing about reindeer or caribou, we could use either word interchangeably, and we're just going to follow this guy all the way down to the rest of the herd. The thing about reindeer, they have a tendon in their hooves, and there's a clicking sound that that tendon makes. And they say that that is to keep the herd together. They'll listen for that clicking sound, and they'll just kind of gather around each other. Another pretty cool thing about reindeer, and we're going to have them on both sides now, folks. And another really cool thing about reindeer is that they have hundreds and hundreds of blood vessels in the tips of their noses. And the reason for that is so that they can warm the air before it goes into their bodies. But the thing about that is since they are so close to the tip of their nose when it's really, really cold outside, all those blood vessels will go to the surface, and it almost looks like they have a red nose. Aha!
So they really do.
I know. And again, these guys are only a year old. They just turned a year just about last month. Now the males are going to have the bigger antlers. The females have just recently lost their antlers, so you can tell the difference right there. Now here at Arizona, over half of our animals are rescues. And in this next enclosure that we're coming to, every single animal that you're going to see is a rescue. From right here in the state of Arizona, Game and Fish has brought all of our deer to us. Not our reindeer, but our deer, our mule deer and our Coues whitetail. Now to tell the difference between the two deer types in here, we're going to first look at the ears. If they've got really big ears that look like mule ears, those would be the mule deer. And the whitetail are a little bit smaller in size, more grayish in color, and they call them whitetail because when they run, they flip up their tail. Guess what color's underneath?
White.
Blue. I'm seeing if you're paying attention. Alright, so Rick and the bus just before us fed all of our deer, so they're right here. Now the thing about in this enclosure, only the males will have antlers. But the thing is, they just recently lost their antlers, so they're in the process of regrowing new ones. And they grow new ones, bigger ones, better ones every single season. So to tell the difference between male and female, the males are going to have little nubs on top of their heads right now. The thing about those antlers when they first grow in, if you look closely you can see one of them, and our reindeer had it too, it almost looks like there's fur on those antlers. We call that velvet. So those antlers will grow in velvet, and then in the fall what they'll do is when they're the size they're going to be for the season, the boys will find a tree, they'll rub all that velvet off, and then they'll be the shiny antlers that you normally think of. But one of the really neat things about antler tissue, it's one of the fastest growing things on the planet. When those antlers start growing in, they can grow in up to an inch a day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hair grew that fast.
There's a little whitetail on the other side. You can tell the difference. The whitetails are the gray, more gray ones, smaller ones. And again, everyone was a rescue animal. They were either way too friendly in the wild, or they were injured and needed a place to recuperate. And this is where they would come. Game and Fish brought them to us, and we're so happy they did. Now, if you guys look over to the left, you're going to see the backside to our jaguar enclosure. Remember, underneath all of those rocks, recycled materials. That's about a 12,000 square foot enclosure for our jaguar. Now, to get to the jaguar this morning, guys, there's a detour. You gotta go behind the gift shop because we're still working on Otter Mountain and we need that blocked off. But you can still get to our jaguar and our gift shop going through the backside. Just follow that yellow caution tape, okay? Now we're going to continue looking to the left because behind that fence line, you're going to see our two elk back there. We've got Ace and Grace. Ace is that big boy. Ace is about 4 years old now. His antlers are still growing in. Those are not the size they're going to be for the season. They're going to get bigger than that. And Grace is the little female there. Ace is about 40 years old now. Grace is going on 3. And the reason we have Ace is because somebody decided to try and raise him as a family pet. Guys, that's illegal. Don't do that. When Game and Fish found out that somebody had Ace, they confiscated him. And the thing is, they wanted to reintroduce Ace into the wild, but by the time Game and Fish became involved, Ace was already way too friendly. They couldn't release him into the wild, so they needed a place for him to go, and of course we said, we'll take him.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that's how we got our hands on Ace. Now here we are in our donkeys. We've got 3 boys in here, left-hand side of the bus, all rescues from the state of Arizona too. We've got Eeyore and Puss in Boots.
Oh, there they are.
Now the thing about these guys, there's a couple of things I want you to notice. First of all, take a look closely. They all have a stripe that goes right down their backs. Folks, that is a characteristic that you will find in horses. But if you look closer, they also have a stripe that goes across their shoulders. Folks, that is a donkey-only characteristic. Now there is a story that goes with that the donkey carried Mary into Bethlehem, and the mule wouldn't. So the donkey is blessed with a cross on his back, and the mule, well, he's sterile, folks, serves him right. Now these animals were the perfect size. They could actually fit right down into the mines themselves, and the miners would load them up with all the ore, and that would be their job every single day. Down into the mines, out with the ore. But eventually the miners would finish their job. They'd be done. And those miners would be ready to move on. But when they wanted to leave and go somewhere else, they didn't want to take these animals with them. So what they did was they just turn them loose. They'd let them go. And there's wild population of donkey reproducing all over the state. Most famous, people go to Oatman, a little mining town. Has anybody been there? Oatman, they walk right up and down the streets there. If you didn't see that, folks, I closed my doors. That's because we're heading into wolf country. So, do me a favor, if there is anything that you would like to keep, like an arm or a leg, small child, perhaps keep him in the bus. Guys, I haven't lost anybody today. This is my first time through them, so anything can happen. All right, our tundra wolves are first. And in here, we have 4. We've got Geronimo, Shadow, Victorio, and Kay.
They were all laying down over here earlier.
Now as we're scooting through our wolves to get to them, guys, you might look on the ground and see bones in here. That was yesterday's disaster, sorry. No, we feed our wolves animal parts. We just don't let them hunt for their food. Driving through a pack of hunting wolves is a really bad idea. So, we feed them animal parts, and they also get fed a zoo diet. Now, the best way I can describe that to you folks, think of a big chunk of meatloaf. It's going to be a 5-pound block. That's what it looks like. Gets thrown to our wolves over the fence. And in that big chunk is going to have all the blood, all the bones, all the nutrients in it that these animals are ever going to need. So it looks like we've got a couple over here on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
So here, folks, you're looking at our female Kay. That's the first one. And then you're looking at Geronimo.
Okay.
Now these are pack animals, and they live in packs of about 5 to 9 animals with an alpha male and a female. So the female of the group is going to be Kay. And then they kind of get ranked after that. Now folks, Geronimo is the one looking at you. And he's been doing something really cool. I don't know how it started. I don't get it. I honestly don't know. But if people howl at him, he howls back. Go for it. Howl. No, that never happens. I just wanted to see if you'd do it. Thank you. Alright, but if you do look at Geronimo, you're going to see he has beautiful golden eyes. All of our wolves have those beautiful golden eyes, and they have huge paws. And those paws kind of act like snowshoes, helps them move across the snow a little bit easier. Now we're still looking for the other 2. We've got Victorio, our alpha male, and Shadow. Now Shadow's named Shadow for a reason, folks, and if I don't spot him early, I often lose him because he blends in really well. But oh, here they are. They're going to be over here on the left-hand side.
Oh, hello.
So this one right here is Victoria that we're going to see right there. And then Shadow, folks, if you look back against that tree over there, not quite out in the middle, but right close by the road,
yeah.
you're going to see Shadow. Now I love Shadow because he's a great indication of the different color variations that these animals can come in. But you're looking at the alpha male and Shadow there. Do you see him? He's right here. And I swear sometimes I can't find him because if he's just real still, he blends in really.
Look at this one's eyes are open and you can see it's gold.
He's laying right there, right behind the tree.
Oh,
I see that one. But there's one back
And this
there
is Miss Clara. Everybody on the count of 3, let's say hi, Clara. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Clara. All right, we are back in the donkeys to get to the next wolf pack. Now, folks, we do have to separate our wolves by an entire enclosure instead of a cattle guard like all the rest. And that is because if it was just a cattle guard in between the two wolf packs, well, they'd probably get to each other. They'd figure out a way, and they would get to each other. Now, is that a big deal? No. What would happen? They'd fight it out. They'd decide who's the new alpha male. They'd form a new pack, and that'd be the end of it. But the tundras that we were in and the Arctics that we're coming to, they are different subspecies of the gray wolf, and that is the only reason we're keeping them separate. So in here we have 2. We've got Twilight and Juno. I think they're going to be on the left-hand side, folks. Nobody's going around that little turnaround there. Oh, if you look up on top of the rocks, guys, you're going to see them.
Oh, there's
So
one right here.
Juno is the first one in the sunshine.
Right here.
Twilight is going to be the one in the shade here. Now the thing about Twilight and Juno, folks, they're going to be a little bit smaller in size than our tundras, but they're also lighter in color. They don't vary like Shadow did over there. They don't get dark like that. They're going to stay nice and light. Now the thing about our tundras, I absolutely love them, but they're kind of ornery. They love to take things off of vehicles. They are one of the biggest thieves at the park. And the thing that they like to take, if you come in and you have a tire cover on the back of your vehicle, Twilight and Juno will take it off for you. But lately, what they've been doing is if an RV comes through and the RV will have square bumper caps, rubber bumper caps, they'll pop those off. I don't know why. So what we've started doing up at Ticket Booth is if you have an RV, we will duct tape your bumper caps on for you. It's just a courtesy service that we provide so that you will make it safely through the tundra wolves, the Arctic wolves. Okay, I told you that our Arctics are kind of ornery, but they got nothing on our junior bears. Guys, our junior bears are downright rotten. I love them, but they are rotten. Our junior bears like to take big things. They'll take your side mirror for you. They will take your license plate. These guys have even gotten a bumper before. That is why we tell everybody, keep moving in the junior bears. Okay? Now, I want everybody to look to the left in this cave. This is not a junior bear. This is Arthur. Arthur is a full-grown black bear. He is actually the biggest bear in the park. He just doesn't know it. The thing is, Arthur was with the other adult bears a while back, and he was kind of getting picked on. And we do not put up with bullying here at Bearizona. So we moved Arthur over here with the junior bears, and he is so happy. He's like King Arthur over here. So our junior bears are all 2, 3, 4 years old, not quite adults. We consider them the teenagers of the park, if that gives you any other indication how we feel about our junior bears. We love them, but honestly, they are always up to something, and it's usually no good. Now, if you guys look to the right behind that fence line, you're going to see 3 bears back there. Now, I want to explain why they are back there. Those 3 bears used to be in our kindergarten walkthrough area. Okay, so they were in the walkthrough. They have never seen a car before. They don't know what it smells like, sounds like. They know nothing about vehicles. So that is why they're there. They're graduating into the junior bear enclosure, but they have to be back there just so that they get used to everything. Hey, how many of you are from the state of Arizona? Anybody? Do you guys remember hearing a while back about a bear down by Mount Lemon causing trouble? Yeah? Guess where she's at? She's here. You want to know her name? Lemon. She's a really light-colored cinnamon bear, so if we spot her, I'll show her to you. We also have a couple of bears that Jack Hanna arranged to have brought here. Jack Hanna came across two bears. They were considered three-strike bears, and what that means is they had 3 chances. Couldn't get along in the wild, got too close to people too many times. Over here, if you guys look to the left, got too close to people too many times and they were going to be put down. Well, Jack Hanna had visited our park a while back and he really liked what he saw. And so when he came across Scooby and Libby, he asked if we could take them, and we of course said yes. So Scooby and Libby are in here too. Do you see this one laying right close to the road here? And it's our junior bears who are up in trees a lot of times too. So we need to look up because they'll be up there. Now I want to tell you folks that right now they're being kind of lazy, but our junior bears are usually the most active of all of our animals. So once we get done with the bus ride and you're back in the walkthrough, guys, drive around again before you leave because you're going to see something totally different. Right now they're sleeping, but they won't be sleeping all day. I promise you, I promise you. Okay, next up is going to be our white bison. Now, I do want to let you know that these are not the true white bison of ancient Indian war white bison. A true white bison, folks, is extremely rare. Happens like 1 in about 10 million births. That is not what we have at Arizona. What we have is a cross, and the cross is with a brown bison and a white Charolais cattle. So it's the white cattle that gives our white bison their white color. Now, something pretty exciting happened just a few days ago. As a matter of fact, I think it was Tuesday evening, excuse me. Tuesday evening about 5 o'clock, we had a white bison baby. Yeah, so you're going to see one here that's not yet a year old. And guys, we're going to have a double whammy because I think it was yesterday, we had a brown bison born also. And so on the across the fence line, you're going to see, actually together, you'll see the brown bison with her little baby, and then laying down is going to be the white bison with her little baby. So you're going to be able to see our newest addition, which is pretty exciting.
Look, it's going to come right up beside your window.
Now again, folks,
Oh, really?
shedding their winter coats. Okay, so they do look a little scruffy. And folks, I haven't had a chance to see the brown bison baby yet. We don't know if they're boys or girls. We don't know yet. Hopefully we'll find out soon. But the really neat thing about bison, when they have babies, they are amazing parents. What happens is the mother who gives birth, she obviously lays down. The rest of the mothers gather around her while she's giving birth. As soon as she gives birth, the mothers then that are standing come around and lick all that afterbirth off that baby that was just born. Their job is to get that baby up and moving as quickly as they can. Once they get that baby up, then they tend to the mother that just gave birth, and they make sure that she's okay. They lick her up and get her up as quickly as they can too. It's the neatest thing to watch because they do have this herd mentality that they've got to protect all of them. And then they just gather around those babies until she starts nursing and make sure that they're all right. Okay, so let's check out these newest additions to Arizona, folks. Over here, left-hand side, you're going to see a brown bison that is a day old. And you're going to see the white bison that's not even a week old yet. They're the cutest things when they're first born. Again, we don't know. Boys or girls, we're not sure yet. But they will get up within minutes of being born. Alright guys, now if you look at this fence line here, this is our outermost perimeter fence here in Arizona. We've got 160 acres inside the park itself, but this is as far out as we go. And we do back Forest Service on all four sides. So that view that you see, that's the view that we'll have from here on out, which is awesome. Alright, I got a joke. Are you ready? What do you call a cow with a twitch? Beef jerky.
Did you know the answer?
What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. What do you call a monkey in the North Pole? Lost.
Lost.
Yeah, we got jokes all day long.
Next one right there.
All right, we're gonna head on over to the brown bison, folks. And I'm not gonna take that loop because I spotted who I want us to see. We got to see the brown bison baby, but I see up ahead the big male bison that I want you to see. These guys are going to let us pass. Now, we could call these animals that we're coming to, we could call them buffalo. That would be perfectly acceptable. But the thing is, if I were to just say, now we're in the buffalo area, somebody might say, well, what's she talking about? A water buffalo, a Cape buffalo? But if I say brown bison, it's these animals that we're going to see right here. Now, the big male that I want us to see is going to be up over here on the right-hand side. And obviously, he does his job very well because we have a baby there. But this big boy, his name is Sully.
Oh, that's Sully? Okay.
Sully is huge. Sully weighs over 2,000 pounds. We're going to say more like 2,400 pounds. 400 of that is his head alone. Now, Sully can run 35 to 40 miles an hour. Folks, that is as fast as a racehorse. But the crazy thing is, he can also jump vertically 6 feet in the air. They say that more people are killed in Yellowstone by bison than wolves and bears combined. And that is because, look at them. They look like they're docile creatures. You could go right on out, pet them, scratch their horns, take a selfie with them. Don't do that. Not only are these animals really, really powerful, but they're also temperamental, so you never know what you're going to get when you come across one. So stay in your car. But we love Sully. Hey kids, he can do a really cool trick. I don't know if he'll do it for us. But you know what? Sully can pick his nose with his tongue. Can you do it? Let me see. Can you do it? Try it. Can you pick your nose with your tongue? Try it. Try it. He's like, no way. All right, bighorn sheep are next, and guess what? More babies. More babies. Oh, they're all down in this little gully, and you can see the babies. They're about 2 weeks old, folks. One baby is standing up on the rocks. One is down by mama. Now, the really cool thing about those babies, within hours of being born, they can scale those rock walls there. Now, that big boy that you're looking at, that's Harry. Harry is the meanest animal in the park. Wolves and bears combined. I kid you not. I swear. Notice I am not getting out of the bus to feed. That's Rick's job. He's got the stuff behind us, but they don't know it, so they're going to come up to the bus because they're going to think I have food. But Harry, guys, is packing what we call a full curl. And we know it's a full curl if you guys look at the tip of the horn. The tip of the horn will go out and around and come at least level with his eye. That's what makes it a full curl. That's about 30 pounds on top of his head. What he's got on his head weighs more than all the bones in his body combined. Those horns are made of the same stuff your fingernails are made of. That would be keratin, not acrylic. And then because they're keratin like your fingernails, they can break off. Just like your fingernails can break, those horns can break too. So a lot of times in the wild, you'll see those big rams with busted off tips. That's because if it's a full curl, it kind of blocks their vision a little bit. So what they'll do is in the wild, they'll find a rock or a tree and they'll bust those tips off so that they have a clear line of sight. Now you can also see females have horns, but they grow a little bit differently. They grow straight back. That's about it. Nothing too exciting with them. All right, let's keep on moving. Black bears. Adult black bears are next, folks. Now I do want to tell you, here at Bearizona, we are all about education, okay? So, black bears are excellent climbers. They can actually climb a tree faster than they can run. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, folks. You're in northern Arizona. There are black bear in the woods around here. So if you happen to be hiking in the woods and you do happen to come across a black bear, people, please do not climb a tree to get away. What you need to do is just run faster than everybody you're with and you'll be fine. Push them down, shove them. It doesn't matter. Just get away.
I said the same thing with
Now in here we're going to have male and female. You're going to be able to tell the difference between males and females full grown right away. The males are much bigger than the females. Males get to be between 500 and 600 pounds, except for Arthur. Remember in the junior bears, he was close to 700 pounds. That's how big Arthur is. And females, they only get to be between 300 and 400 pounds. And folks, I think we just took this loop for no reason. We did. So sorry. But hey, you got to spend more time with me, and that's the important thing. Yeah. Oh, nope. I take it back. Everybody, there's Dusty Bear. Dusty Bear is actually the oldest bear in the park. She's about 18 years old or so, and that's really old for a black bear. Black bears in the wild only live about 10 to 14 years, but in captivity their life expectancy goes way up. They could live 20 to 24 years in captivity. Reason being, they see a veterinarian regularly. They get fed a steady diet every single day. And we could take care of anything that otherwise might kill them in the wild. So let's say, which does happen, black bears can get abscess teeth. In the wild, that infection would run through their body, kill them. But here at Bearizona, or other places like Bearizona, we could pull that tooth, give them antibiotics, and we could save their life. So there's a lot of advantages of being in captivity. Now, a black bear's diet is about 80% vegetation. 20% will be meat, but these guys are more foragers than they are hunters. Not saying that they won't go hunting for their food, they will, but not normally. What they would rather happen is let somebody else do all the killing, and then they'll come across it and help clean it up. So in here, you might see some animal bones in here also, and we do feed our bears every once in a while animal parts, and that is just to simulate what it would be like in the wild for them. And it looks like we're going to have all of our bears down here in the lower part, because I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, there's a big old boy just sitting down right there. We're going to come around and we'll talk about him in just a second. If you guys look over here to the left, two of my favorite bears in the park. Both of them are brown in color. Now, I am not going to call either of them a brown bear. If I were saying they're brown bears, I'd be calling them grizzlies or Kodiaks. Different animal, much bigger. The grizzlies have the big hump on their back, okay? Black bears can range in color though, from black all the way to blonde. So when you see brown colored black bears, we call them cinnamon. And here's two of our favorite cinnamons. The big boy that you see, that's Dan. Dan the man, we like to call him. He's actually so gorgeous that he's our supermodel. He's the one that's on our brochure. This is a female. This is Sparky Bear. I love Sparky because when she looks at you, it almost looks like she's got a grin on her face. She probably will. A lot of times when it's really hot outside, our bears love to go in their water tubs. And sometimes there'll be 2, 3 bears in there. Big jacuzzi.
Well, we videotaped the one.
Is she in there? Okay, we're not going to talk about these two yet, but there's a male and a female. Folks, parents, this is for you. Heads up, it's mating season. So if any action happens, I'm not doing the explaining. And that's what's going on right there. They're kind of, the big boy, he's looking at her saying, "Hey, baby." And she's saying, "No, thank you." Okay, so here we've got another big boy with his foot up on the tree. Looks like Boosa Bear there. Now, a lot of times you will see black bear with their foot up on the tree while they're sleeping. Guys, the reason being is they feel safest up the tree. That's their escape route. That's where they're going to go in case there's any danger around. So they'll sleep like that. This is nope, that's Quagmire. Hey, Quag. I love Quagmire. He's about 15. When we got him, he was about 12 years old. Folks, he was living in an 8x8 cage for 12 years of his life. I know. And so we're happy we have him. It's a rough life here at Bearzona, guys. I feel so bad for our bears.
Look at him.
Yeah. Now, one thing people often say is, I thought black bears were solitary animals. And you know what? In the wild, they are. But the reason they're solitary is because of food. Everything that happens with the black bear revolves around food. It takes thousands and thousands of calories to keep a black bear going every single day. So in the wild, those black bears like to have their own food supply. So that's why they find places of their own. And that's why a lot of people say that they're solitary. But here at Bearzona, you're going to notice that they live quite happily together. And as long as everybody has enough food, they will live happily together. There's Dan and Sparky again. And then Lola will be the next one. Oh, she moved away, it looks like. There's going to be several over here on the left-hand side, folks, as we exit the enclosure. Now, Miss Lola came up here and she's laying on top of the rocks. And then the two that are staring at each other, that's going to be Tooth and Angel.
Go back over there. They're already on that side.
She's told Tooth no thank you, and he's moving away. Oh. Yeah. They're playing.
Yeah. Oh, baby, the play hard to get.
So Lola's on top, and then we're going to have Tooth and Angel over here. You guys are going to get a really good look at them. There's no kisses there. And then Miss Conibear's laying over there in the trees back there, left-hand side. And then, guys, we're going to have another big boy over here as we exit. We haven't seen Cisco yet, so this is probably Cisco and Charlie, brothers, right here. Yep, Cisco's in front. You can see he's got a white V on his chest. That would be Cisco, and his brother Charlie is behind him. Charlie!
He's laying down.
This is our youngest bear, guys. This is Cooper Bear. I know, I'm sorry, Cooper. I didn't have anything good to say. Sorry. But be nice to him. He gives stickers. Oh, our bus just died.
Good thing that
That was your wild ride. I hope you had fun, maybe learned a thing or two. You guys are back in time for the 11 o'clock bird show, and if you have never seen our bird show, folks, get in there. The birds fly right over your heads. It's amazing, except if you don't like that. Look for the perches in the back. That's where they fly to. Just don't look up. Can't guarantee that nothing will fall from the sky. Sorry. Guys, make sure you grab everything you came on the bus with. I don't want you to leave anything behind, but no worries if you do. I will find it, and I will take it up to the Lost and Found, and that's going to be in the gift shop, except for the kids. You leave a kid with me, they get fed to the wolves at 4. Sorry. Folks, again, I want to say a big old... My bus is dying again. More time. Guys, I do want to say a big thank you so much for coming on out to Bearizona today. We are so glad you chose to spend your time with us. Again, my name's Jennifer, folks, and if you have any questions about anything you've seen or any questions about what's going on, give us a holler and we'd be happy to answer questions for you. But we just want to say, enjoy your time here at Bearizona and come back and see us again, all right? Have a great one, guys.